Find yourself a booth, order up a cold one. This is the Spring Bar. This episode sees the reveal of the much-awaited Tudor Pelagos that I jumped on at the end of this year. Furthermore, we discuss resolutions, potential watch purchases, watches that are in our collection but don't get enough attention but deserve it. We also discuss plans for the next year and whether or not we'll be able to uphold the resolutions that we have in mind. All that and much more in today's episode. I also would like to encourage everyone to hashtag the Spring Bar podcast with your drink and wristwatch checks. Remember, your drinks don't have to be alcoholic, but you have to be fun. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Casey, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Florida Mike and Joe in the OC. Gentlemen, how are you on this fine day?
Casey, Happy New Year. Joe, Happy New Year. Well,
what he
10
said.
days, 10 days into the new year at least. So I hope your New Year's are going well thus far.
Everyone should be sobered up. Watches should have arrived.
Resolution should be broken.
Absolutely.
Already. Absolutely. I think that's what's going to be the title for this episode is resolutions we're not going to keep.
We almost made it.
So close. So close.
We'll try again. Try again next year. So yeah, no, doing good. Again, excited to be here with you guys to record another cool show.
All right. So, new watch alert.
Yeah.
Big
I actually think we should let Mike go first.
Oh, building anticipation. Here it is. Okay.
No new watch alerts from you, Joe?
I have something in transit from Pakistan that's been in transit since November. So,
So do you want to talk about that? Because my new watch alert is going to be my wrist check, as is I'm sure KC's.
All right.
So if you have something to talk about separately, go ahead and do that.
Okay, all right.
I don't really. I don't have anything to show for it. So until it's in hand, there's not a whole lot I can do. But KC,
Okay,
Yeah, all
look,
right.
he's chomping at the
Take
bit, as I'm sure are the
Take
listeners,
Take
because he's been teasing this for a while.
Ignorance is
We're
bliss.
talking about it. You showed us the box. Where's the watch?
All
Wrist
right.
check.
So
Wrist check,
wrist-
drink
wrist
check.
check. Wrist
Wrist
check.
check, drink
Hey,
check.
real
Take
quick,
it up.
I've got my Oktoberfest must here, and it's Paulana, which is a brewing company over there, and I'm drinking a Voodoo Ranger IPA, packing that 7.5%. All right, enough of that waffling. Here we go.
Destro.
Look at that. Ooh, nice strap choice. And
Uh-huh.
I love the left-hand drive.
I love the left-hand drive. That was my guess. I called it. Left hand.
Yeah.
Left
Hold
hand.
it up to your mic. Let's hear that click. Is it silky smooth?
It's honestly the best bezel I've ever experienced.
Crunchy.
Yep.
And then the best part is that final detent, it must be deeper than the rest because you can feel it. Everyone keeps saying it sounds different. I call BS, or at least my ears are shot. But you can feel that last detent at 12 is tougher to click over than the rest. So if you were like blacked out underneath the water, you could rotate it and find 12
You would
o'clock.
still feel it.
You find 12. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
And then you've got the roulette date wheel as well. It flips between black and red.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of fun. Yeah, and you got the red Pelagos. Yeah, you got a whole paragraph underneath there talking about all the watches, certifications, and whatnot. But when people are complaining about that, I feel like their approach is from the watch enthusiast perspective. If I were to hand this down to a child who does not give two dams about a watch, they're going to want to see, oh, it's a Pelagos. Oh, it's been certified. They wouldn't know. So people are complaining about all the text on the dial, but I think it's works for me.
It's cool.
I got no problem with it. I'd wear it.
I like
Yeah,
it.
and the fact that they went and kind of did some Fotina is not too bad on this. It suits my vintage tastes. And it's not as blindingly white as the other option, which the white on there is pretty aggressive. So,
Interesting. Interesting. I was curious if you were going to go with that as the like the left-hand drive. That was going to be that was my guess. That's my option also, because it's just a little bit different. And
yes,
I'm cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you.
Very cool.
I appreciate
cool.
your endorsement and what's the label? That's what.
All right, Mike, what do you
All
got?
right. So mine's not a Tudor. It's not anywhere near as cool as that. So how am I going to follow that one up? So it just came in the mail this afternoon. I was hoping it was going to be here by the time we recorded. This is a 1973 Caravelle TV dial. Hold it up a little backwards here. Blue dial, white hands, white markers, white text. This is a chrome-plated case. I have it on a
it's
brown
the Foreman's
leather strap.
Pelagos.
Yeah. I bought this watch from Casey. So Casey, why don't you tell us about it? No, just kidding.
Oh man, yeah. Well, Mike, I'm sure you have enough DNA in there to clone whoever the hell the previous guy was.
Yeah, this was pretty wrist cheesy. I spent a good half an hour cleaning it out, and I took the bracelet off because that's going to require more time to clean. But I have this exact watch. It's nowhere near the condition that this one is. So this one is far better than that one. And I had it on this brown leather strap, and I like the way it looks, brown leather on the blue dial. So that's what I
looks way better than it ever did. I never wore it.
here. Yeah, this for some reason this doesn't strike me as a bracelet watch. That's what it came on.
I agree.
I'm not a big bracelet fan on this one, so I like the brown leather.
Do you think the bracelet is what would have originally come with it?
I'm going to say very possibly, and only because when I bought the first one that I have, it came with the exact same bracelet.
Okay.
Ooh.
This watch does appear in some ads, and I'm going to have to look. I never really cared enough about it before to look at it and see exactly what bracelet it's on in the old ad. So I'll have to look and see.
Yeah, do that. That'd be cool.
Please do. I'm curious.
Yeah,
And
but same bracelet. In fact, I have the same bracelet packed away somewhere in my cabinet of bracelets. So.
And what are we drinking, sir?
Just popping it open. We're gonna do another ASMR.
Nice.
I'm keeping it simple. Going Corona. Nothing too fancy, but you can't go wrong with the Corona.
You got a lime?
No, I don't have a lime. I'm not quite Mexican enough today.
He's not suffering from scurvy at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Speaking of scurvy, Joe.
Thank you. I have got on the Euro Devil Diver, black bezel, 41 millimeter, as opposed to the 44 of the Coke Dial reissue, or like the 39 of the limited edition. And the newer orange is also that same sort of that smaller. This one's there's a red bezel, there's this black bezel, and they're only available in Europe, so I ended up buying it across the pond.
And where did you get that one from? I forget.
It was from the UK, I assume. That's where the seller was, but I don't know if they were listed there. I've only really seen them in like German language ads. So
I've seen them in Italy a lot. Come out of Italy.
Yeah, same sort of idea. And I am drinking Made in Mammoth Lakes, California, Shelter Distilling Wild Rose bourbon. It is bourbon with a bit of rosehip flavoring. It is fantastic. I'm hoping that they're watching. We should try to tag them, because if they'll send me another bottle, I will be a happy camper.
There you go.
Nice.
Everybody go out and buy that.
If you can find it, I highly recommend it, but I don't know that they do much exporting outside of the greater Mammoth Lakes area.
Affiliate link below.
Link in bio. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Well, okay, cool, guys. So we're going to discuss our resolutions and then kind of feed into potential purchases and what watches we have that don't get enough love. And honestly, Joe, I want to hear your perspective first.
So potential purchases, I don't really go that route because I do so much vintage stuff. I'm constantly searching, constantly trolling, looking for the next thing. But I've got a few that are on the list. I've got ones that I'm trying to check out, trying to find. There's the like that 666 snorkel, the Skittles collection that I have of the red dial, the blue dial, and the green dial. There's a black version of that. That would be nice to find, but I haven't seen a whole lot of them, and so I'm not holding my breath on that. The one that I am more interested in, though, is a Deep Sea B. So the Deep Sea A is that orange internal rotating bezel. The Deep Sea AB I've got with the black bezel. The Deep Sea B has a slightly different dial, and here's the picture. We can show that up, and you'll be able to check it out. It's nice. They're not that common. I'd love to have one. It'd be great. I'm always looking for the chronographs, 666 chronographs. Those are getting more interesting to find. So that you got options there. Just constantly looking, but there's nothing that I'm gunning for. There's nothing that I'm really potentially setting aside money actively to buy.
So you're waiting for the watches to find you rather than you find the watches.
You know what? It's worked so far.
Does this help?
You know what? I have not done a drunk purchase. I tend to do most of my watching and etc. It happens while I am on my prep period from work, and I don't really have the opportunity. I drink a lot of tea, if that counts, but I don't think we have the same kind of effect.
So I wonder, instead of doing another Friday night watch fight, if we do a drunken purchase competition,
that could be fun.
That would be interesting.
That would be really interesting. All right, so
extra points for the person who doesn't remember what they bought.
Even what's this box?
Yeah,
Mike, what do you got?
So I'm going to focus on the Jetstar collection. I have inadvertently really started to collect the series, and I guess why stop now? I don't know how many actually there are within the Jetstar line. I have 3 right now.
I want to say
I have 4.
I want to say there's 6 or 7, and so you're missing. Do you have one of the squares? Do you have one of the square cases?
I do not. So that one is it's like a grayish dial, square TV dial kind of looking watch.
And there's a blue dial also.
Oh yeah, that's right. There is that blue dial one. That one's easier to get than the gray dial version. The gray dial version, those go for quite a bit and harder to find. The blue dial version, that definitely, there was a couple of those that I had to pass on in the last couple of months, and that kind of hurt. But they're out there. But like my A and B and F, that same UFO case shape, there's Merlot dial version.
Beautiful.
There's the white dial with kind of the Breguet style numerals around it. That one, they're easy enough to come by. Those are not that hard.
Real common. The white dial's real common.
Yeah. You can pick them up cheap. So I'll probably get one just to have it in the collection. And like I say, there's a few other different versions out there. Some of them, they don't appeal to me. If I can find it for cheap, fine. If not, I'm not hurting. But that's kind of what I'm going to focus on. I don't really want to buy just to buy this year. I want to buy with purpose. So I guess we'll see how long that resolution lasts. Because usually, if it's shiny,
so by the time this airs, it should be broken.
So,
we'll have to check back in.
Yeah.
How long did Mike last? How long did he hold out?
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for at least right now in the foreseeable future here. We've got 12 months to go. Anything can change. So who knows?
Fair. What do you got, Casey?
So
Potential, because you just did that big purchase, and now
There is no potential purchases. That's not effing happening. Um,
But you paid it
but
off. You paid it
what's
off. And you
that?
got this. You got this bright new shiny credit card that's never been swiped.
Yeah. No. Well, honestly, what I want to do is I need to kind of echoing what Mike said, purchase with purpose.
Good.
There you go.
You know, I hit this point in my collection where I was kind of freaking out. Like the walls were closing in. I was like, look at all these freaking watches that I don't wear, that I don't enjoy, that I'm hoarding. And I'm like, everyone out. Everyone get out. And I don't want to go back to that point again. Ideally, yeah. I mean, hopefully you enjoy it because I did not. Which I mean, honestly,
for those that are listening, not watching, I'm pointing to my wrist check.
yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's good that it went to Mike because it was gonna languish in my freaking box and not, have anyone who actually knows what it is to appreciate it. But anyway, potential purchases, I'm probably gonna focus on more like watch books and straps and stuff like that. Like I just got this in, which is an old bull of an advertisement. Nothing crazy expensive. And the other thing is I got to go off to my basic officers leader course for 5 months. And I certainly cannot be sending expensive watches to that place. So I think I'll holster my stupid for that. And should keep me safe a little bit.
So
You
do
also
they
don't
limit? Are they going to limit your availability for Wi-Fi and your ability to drunk purchase while you're at officer training? Just curiosity's sake.
No.
Because what you can do is you can have the watches sent to either Joe or myself, and we'll
Care of.
Right. Yeah.
we'll take care of them for you
Absolutely.
return.
Absolutely.
That way you don't have to send them to your wife, and then she doesn't see everything that you bought as well. See,
Very true.
we're looking out for you, Casey.
We're here for you.
buddy.
We're here for
I
you.
trust you. I trust you like I trust snakes.
If I can interject here real quick, I forgot a potential purchase.
Oh.
So 2021 was supposed to be a one watch year for me, and I failed miserably probably around January 10th of 2021.
Trying to think
So
how
I
many of
wanna-
those I know about. I know of at least 6.
Oh yeah, I don't even know how many I bought last year. I don't even want to count. But it was supposed to be a one watch year, which I knew was going to be extremely difficult, knowing how I buy. So this year I'm not going to say it's a one watch year, but that's why I say buy with purpose. Because what I really would like to buy this year is a Doxa, the new Sub 600T.
What color?
My first thought was going to be aquamarine. I love that baby blue color. Beautiful looking.
Tiffany dial.
You can call it the Tiffany dial if you would like.
I got a Sharpie. We can get it taken care of.
The more I look at it, I like the Caribbean, which is the darker blue. With the Caribbean, you get the orange minute hand, where with the aquamarine, it's just a black handset. So I like that Caribbean blue. So I don't know exactly. I guess I have some time to figure it out.
I got to handle the limited edition, the Australian version.
The
What?
Titanium
Pacific?
case.
Yeah.
That's badass.
It was pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. It was really, really nice.
So what's cool about it is that is I guess you can call it a revival, a reissue. It's an 80s design watch that they've just kind of brought back, keeping all the dimensions the same. Everything, dimension-wise is unchanged. The same asymmetrical design, with the crown at the 4 o'clock has that little case nub. I don't know what else you want to call that. The only thing that bothers me about that watch is the movement. It's not an ETA movement. It's a Sellita SW200, which I know is a good movement, but I
comparable.
feel like I wish it was an ETA.
Okay, but they're not part of the Swatch group, so you're gonna have to deal. It's either gonna be Salida or it's gonna be a Miyota, or
Well,
it's gonna be Chinese.
if I remember correctly, the sub 300 is using ETA
Hey,
2824.
the Seagull chronograph movement is pretty sweet. Don't knock the Chinese.
I'm not knocking that because that's a copy of the Venus. But even still, like some of the knockoff Chinese movements, and it's getting better. They're getting better, and they're only going to improve as time goes on. Right. My industry is from the music education, and 20 years ago, Chinese instruments were awful. You couldn't take them apart. You go to the trade shows and they'd be like, "Oh, please don't." It like things would break on the versions that they brought to the trade show. It like break in your hand. And now for the price point, you cannot beat them. It's phenomenal what's going on there.
Yeah.
And it's that, like, as you get the experience with the craftsmanship, watches, it's a finer thing. It's a finer movement. It's a finer skill set. The tolerances are so much lower, and not that music instrument tolerances are so broad, compared to the automotive industry, but watches are a totally separate thing. Horology in and of itself. As they get more experience, the Chinese industry is going to become a phenomenal thing, and it's going to be something that people will, made in China will no longer be a detriment soon.
Yeah. So that's my only gripe with it. Salida SW200. But
it's still a cool watch. I mean,
it's a great watch, and what I like about it the most is the sub 300 is phenomenal. I mean, the iconic design. When you talk about Doxa, that's the design everybody thinks of, the sub 300 300Ts. They have the sub 200, which still has the color range, but the case is very different from the 300. You don't have the iconic bezel. You don't have a lot of the little. They kept the beads of rice with that, which is what I like, and that's what I don't like about the 600T is their bracelet option is a very almost a bland looking 3-link bracelet. I don't like it, so I would order it with the rubber strap.
Get aftermarket BOR.
You can do an aftermarket BOR because it doesn't have a curved case at the lugs. It's flat. So that's easy enough to do.
It'll look great too.
And yeah, it'll look great on there. So I don't know why they didn't do the beads of rice with this one. It is what it is. Maybe that's the bracelet that they used in the 80s too. I don't know.
It could be from a price point standpoint.
Yeah.
You want to keep your target. We want this watch to fit in here. So
and they did a good job with that. I mean, it's very much the mid range. You get the iconic bezel. That decompression scale, and it comes in ceramic and stainless. So I personally would go with the stainless just because I like the stainless look on that watch. The ceramic is going to be the black with the inlaid color, to match with the dial. But I like the stainless version. So aquamarine, Caribbean blue, one of those two, stainless on a rubber strap. That's what I'd like. $1,500. Can't go wrong with it.
Hey, so because you jogged my memory on the bracelets thing, this is actually what made me buy this freaking Pelagos. This thing is awesome. The ceramic ball bearings in the clasp here, it is like nothing I've ever felt on a watch. And this auto adjust, don't believe the hype. It's great and all. It is great and all, but listen, the key element that YouTubers did not explain was that it's going to be tighter than looser on the auto adjust. So yes, I've set it on the setting and it kind of does move my wrist, but it's going to be, you'd have to play with the extra links. So size it to where it's tighter with the links, and then you can throw on auto adjust and then it'll kind of be okay. It's still not as great as YouTubers hyped it up.
So you like the bracelet?
Oh yeah, 100%.
As you can see, as it's sitting there on the table next to the watch,
and the Pelagos is on a NATO.
Yes,
but the freaking Bond NATO, man, because I was watching No Time to Die last night. I freaking had to, because I don't own a freaking Rolex sub, or I guess now it's an Omega Seamaster.
Yeah. I love that.
I'm an Omega
Nice
guy. I don't
master.
say no dang Omega. But all right, hey guys, so we might have fumbled over ourselves here a little bit and missed the watches that don't get enough love. So why don't we take it from the top again, Joe? What is that watch?
Got two.
Oh,
Got two. No, I've given it some thought. So
cheated.
yeah, shut up. You got a new Tudor. You get the deal. The one that really doesn't get the love that it should. My Bulova Ambassador, no date, micro rotor, no second hand. This is a 38 dress watch. Got nice baton markers, really thin hands. It is a beautiful, beautiful dress watch. You don't see them a whole lot. You see them with the date. This is a no date, and it's exceptional. It's incredibly thin. It's got that Burin micro rotor movement, and it's really killer. And it doesn't get nearly enough love because I don't wear the clothing that requires that kind of watch nearly enough, and I really should. And I'm gonna have to start dealing with that.
What clothing goes with that? Because I'm clothing illiterate.
This, sir,
A
would
leopard
be-
suit.
This would be a classically designed dress watch. And as we all know, I have been moving towards dive watches, and this is looking at it from a lug standpoint. I mean, my God, just look at that thing. It's just, it's elegant. It's slim. It's
A beautiful piece. Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. So that one doesn't get nearly enough love. And the
Are
other
you
one,
going to resolve to wear it more this year?
possibly.
Okay.
See,
Oh.
the problem that I have is I've got two watch boxes and they're stacked, so it's out of sight, out of mind.
Gotcha.
I've got because I wear the dive watches more.
We challenge you.
All right, challenge accepted.
Okay.
The other one
You heard
is
it here,
this Seiko Vibe
folks. Ooh.
green dial field watch. This one was gifted to me by students. The class
yeah.
class of who? Class of, it's on the back, 2019. And it's they lied right to my face. It was awesome. Kid said, "Hey, I'm thinking of buying a watch for my dad. He really likes green. We were thinking about maybe one of these watches," and brought up a whole page. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, well, and there were a couple Bulovas on there, but it's like, I'm the Bulova guy, and this somebody else is like, you really can't go wrong with a Seiko field watch. You really can't. I'm like, the green dial, it's nice. And she's like, okay. And then it showed up at our end of year banquet. I'm like,
That is really cool, man.
it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story. So I mean, it works really great on NATOs. You can swap it out. And I don't wear it nearly enough. It's a fantastic watch.
All right, random off point because it made me think of it. And you should really enjoy that watch. You should be proud of it because how many times and I'm speaking from a military perspective, do subordinates get to praise the leader of their group? How often is that? How often do you look at your boss and say, "Hey, thanks for what you do"? And they did that for you.
It did. They did. They absolutely did. And it was a very nice gesture. It was a completely unexpected gesture. It's one of the, that's never leaving. That one will go to my son. It's never going out. And so when we look at the Seikos, I have a couple other Seikos. This one's going to stay, my father's, my great grandfather's, or my grandfather's, my son's great grandfather's, and then this one. So, we've got a good selection of Seikos. I guess I got to buy him one now. And then we got 4 generations of Seikos.
So, okay, cool. And what about you, Mike?
So I have 2 as well. 3 actually, but 2 of them are fall into the same category. One of which I actually don't have anymore. The Invicta 1953 came out early 2020. That watch was on fire, sold out very fast. During the height of COVID, that Invicta 1953 was trading for $300-400 on eBay. Very cool watch.
An Invicta?
Yes,
an Invicta,
yes, it was going nuts. It was cool.
Pro Diver 1953. It was very much styled after the Bond Submariner.
Yes.
But
I would say it would be your alternative to a BB-58 for sure.
Yeah, that too. The reason why it was on fire so much like that, because one of the few Invictas that does not have Invicta scrolled on the side of the case,
Yeah, but
completely
you know how to
rust.
take care of that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but and that's the thing though is the watch mod community. Invicta mods are very popular in watch mods, right up there with Seiko mods.
But okay,
everybody
hang on.
that-
But based upon your experience, aren't they doing Invicta mods to Seiko mods? Isn't that the direction?
Well, no, Invicta mods is
Just
modding
checking.
an Invicta. Seiko mod is modding a Seiko. You can turn an Invicta into a Seiko if that's what you're getting at.
That's what I'm getting at.
Because everyone wishes they had a Seiko rather than an Invicta.
So, anyways, this particular one did not have all the usual Invicta-ness to it. It had
That Invicta-ness.
the Invicta-ness. It had the Swiss cross on the crown, which didn't have crown guards.
That looks cool. That looks
it-
cool.
Yeah, it has the polished chamfers on the case, which is very cool. I mean, it was just go look it up. Invicta 1953. The prices have come back down. They're back to normal again. I should have sold it in the middle of last year. I could have tripled my investment on it.
Yeah.
But I wore it for a while, and then it sat in the case. And I would take it out just because I felt bad for it. So I traded it for my only genuine Seiko.
Poor baby.
I traded it for my only Seiko, and the guy that I traded it to enjoys it as it should be enjoyed. He
Good.
wears it,
Good.
often, and he tags me in his pictures when he does wear it, and so it's a watch that needed to be enjoyed, and I just kind of fell out of love with it, even though it was a very cool watch, and it went to a good home. So my
That's
other
what's
one-
up. Watches being used for watch stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone, you got to move them on.
Watches actually.
You got to move them on. If it's not right for you, it's right for somebody else.
In certain cases, yeah, you just not. I mean, there's watches that I have in my box that I don't wear that I just love to look at, and
Mike
those
is a
watches-
closeted hoarder.
Oh, not closeted, buddy. I'll
No,
admit to
he's
it. Sure.
proud.
I'll admit to that. Yep.
Proud.
My other
Hey, look,
one.
man, I had to speak up about my issue.
Well, you know what? Admitting you have a problem is the first step.
Yeah. So my other one is I have two Skagans. One's a chronograph. One is a solar. Both very cool, very slim. I mean, as they should be. I love these things. One, actually, they're both gifts. One is for being in a wedding. This one was a Christmas gift. I enjoy wearing them. They're beautiful in the sunlight, the sunburst blue dials. The problem is I don't get dressed up enough or go to enough dressy occasions to wear a nice dress watch. And that's what I feel. Maybe
Same.
the solar one, not so much. The chronograph, definitely more. I don't find the right occasion to wear them. And I guess this year I should probably find that occasion a little bit more often because they're both cool pieces and they deserve to be on the wrist a little bit more.
Oh man, hey, so random tangent. Finding that occasion, even though we've got new Omicron and all the other crazy COVID nonsense happening, me and my wife got dressed the hell up in our house when it first kicked off. Like I'm in like a suit and tie, and I've got candlelit dinner in our house. Like if COVID is gonna pick up again and we're really worried about it, do that with your girlfriend, man.
I did Zoom meetings for school wearing a tux.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't own it.
Well, that's why I have the dress watch problem that I have.
100%. You don't have an excuse not to wear it, man.
This is true.
Well, so for me, my watches that don't get enough love, and I say watches now because I'm a rule follower and I had to quickly, adjust because everyone else was like, F the rules. I've got this Commodore, and I can't give you a reference. I don't know what Commodore this is, This is my Christmas watch. You know,
Yeah, the
obviously
ho
with
ho ho is nice. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, so my dad was super nerdy. He's like a programmer and whatnot before he became an infantryman. It seems like a natural progression in life, PCs to killing people. But he really liked Commodore, so I got him a Commodore. And then I was like, damn it, that's actually kind of a nice watch. So I ended up picking one up, and I only wear it for Christmas.
So is that Commodore, as in the Commodore that we're all thinking Commodore?
Yeah, Commodore 64, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
see,
my
I was going for Commodore with the big hat and like multiple boats.
No, man, you
Commodore
have banana
Perry.
suit.
So
See,
on a
you-
side note, Have-
You Army National Guard guys.
on a side note, have you seen the HP watch that actually plugs into the little handheld computer programmer thingy?
No,
You've never seen that, Joe? You look.
I
perplexed,
think
too.
I have.
I've seen some
I don't know
crazy
anything
stuff.
about it. I've seen pictures of it, and I saw pictures from a meetup that somebody did, where a person brought the HP watch in the case with the handheld device portion of it, and it actually worked. Did whatever it's supposed to do. Like I say, I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but that's talk about cool back then. Look it up.
That's up there with either Casio did the photo watch, like it had a camera in your watch.
Really?
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Huh.
But my secondary watch is an Omega, because I don't say Omega. And this is a quartz watch, and I got a stupid good deal on this. And I'll straight up say I paid $200 for this.
How
Your
drunk
Omega
it-
needs a new battery.
It does need a new battery. This is why it's the one that I don't love. I should just run out and go get the damn thing, but I've just been too lazy. But what's cool about this is it's got a weird symbol on the dial.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is it's the symbol for an Israeli bus company. And I guess if you hit a certain tenure, or maybe you retired from this Israeli bus company, you got a Quartz Omega Seamaster. So, I mean, super weird. Like, who the heck would ever think about it? And it's I think undervalued, as far as if you're going to go approach from one, an Omega, two, from a horological perspective. $200. I was like, sign me up all day.
And
Now
What's the movement?
well, that's the thing. I don't know what the movement is off the top of my head, but I do know that servicing it is a biatch. So there's that. Just because. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out, because there is. It's actually the company's logo. And I don't read.
You don't read Hebrew?
I don't read Hebrew, no. Although that would be a country I would kill to train with. I would love to go over there and just, oh my God, premier warriors. But anyway. But yeah, the movement I hear is really tough to find parts for, because it's like an early Omega quartz movement, and Omega, like everyone back then was trying to do their own proprietary thing to try to beat out Seiko. And
You got
that
all
kinda
those Beta
sucks.
21s and all that other stuff going on. You've got the early the Accutron 242 movements. Yeah, everybody was trying to get into that market. And but the thing about those movements though is like they are repairable. You can
Mhm.
fix them as compared to like
Right.
the newer quartz movements, which it's a module and you toss it. But even with the
Yeah.
Bulova Precisionists are that way. Most of the high accuracy quartz stuff is that way, and these older ones are just you can fix them.
Yeah.
So
And I would put the money into it just because of the story. But
oh, totally. Anything with an engraving on it that seems to pull on the heartstrings just a little bit. That's why
Yeah.
Mike won our Friday night watch fight.
I was waiting for that to come up.
It's got oh yeah. We're never letting. I'm keeping that. I'm gonna polish it. I'm gonna cherish it. I'll bring it out at holidays. It's gonna be great.
I'm not really team Mike, but your watch was doo-doo.
It's Mike's watch now. It's his problem. All right.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to plans.
Moving on. So when we're talking about what's the plan, what are we going to do? So in the next upcoming year, where's the collection going? And we've touched on this a little bit, but you can elaborate if you like. So why don't we start? Let's start with KC.
So the plan for me, I'm going to keep it pretty brief, is I want to push everything out. Like I only want to have 7 watches, and that's going to be iffy. I've narrowed it down to 5 watches. I think I want for sure, and I might leave 2 slots as a revolving door. We'll see how feasible that is.
That is such a
But
that is, oh man, that's a reach. I'm
it
cheering
hurts my
for you.
soul.
Right?
It hurts
yeah,
my soul. I don't have the mental capacity to be able to narrow down my collection to 7 pieces or 5 pieces with 2 slots to be able to come and go. I could not do that.
It's like those hypothetical, like, what's your perfect 3-watch collection? And you've upped it a little bit, like 7. Oh, we're gonna have 1 for each different day of the week. Man,
If you can do that, buddy, hats off to you.
absolutely.
I can tell you right now, it's not achievable within a 12-month period because one of the watches is a no-date Submariner, like Rolex, and them suckers are like $1,300.
Whoa. No, Mike just called it, right? You get Invicta, what, 1953, and you're fine.
Yeah.
I just said
Fine, you're set.
$1,300. I wish, but no, and that might be
Mike
something
knows a guy.
can do.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the plan. We'll see if that actually works. But look, for the next 12 months, if I buy another watch, I don't know. I'm a bad person.
So I'm curious, what are the 5 watches that you've narrowed it down
List
to
it.
already?
Oh snap. See, this is why it's probably not gonna work because I already forgot. I texted it to you guys. I know one of them was that Rolex sub, which is lofty. I got the Pelagos and I got the Speedy. 100% a Bulova Solo Chrono. That has to happen.
Also,
wait.
these are-
Oh, the Chrono. Wait, the Chrono with the bezel?
Yes, with the
Because you
bezel.
sold the Chrono that didn't have the bezel, and it was a solo dial. Just saying.
I've not sold that yet, but
He wants
Oh.
the Deep Sea with the bezel, the blue Deep Sea solo dial.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Vintage no date sub, Tudor Pelagos, Speedy, Bulova Deep Sea Solo, Grand Seiko Spring Drive GM3.
Oh, that's the one. Yes, sir. If I
Oh.
could get one of those, whew, it's a wrap. And at that point,
So-
then I don't know.
Spring Drive, do you know what dial you want?
So I've been looking at it, and I actually might not even get a Grand Seiko because I was looking at a Seiko LX, and this is that limited edition blue black one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, you're forgiven.
But Grand Seiko is pretty sweet. Like I don't know. I feel like I'd miss out not getting, so it might be stupid for me to say, but I feel like I'm missing out not getting the name on the dial.
So
I
you-
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because that one's a sleeper. Everybody who knows Seiko will take a look at that and be like, yeah, you got everything that you need for significantly less.
So it's like what
I could get on board with that.
Tudor or like what Seiko's Tudor and then Grand Seiko's Rolex, which I'm sure some people-
Kinda, yeah. It's kind of along those lines. They've spun off the companies. The finishing is higher end for Grand Seiko, sort of across the board. But Seiko itself, there are certain parts of their line that have got that same kind of finish. That mirror finishing, that high end stuff, and that's without getting into like the Creedor situation. So
I've seen some of the Grand Seikos in person.
really.
Beautiful watches. Beautiful
Wow.
watches. I mean, well worth the money that you're going to pay for them.
and I still think they're undervalued. I really do.
Oh yeah, by far.
Because they're not Swiss, but when you look at and they're definitely getting a lot more love.
I have to disagree with you there. Just because it's not Swiss, Grand Seiko is the Swiss of Japan.
Without question.
Yeah, so I can't get on board with it because it's not Swiss.
That's that. I'm not saying that from the heart. I'm saying
Yeah,
that
I don't
from
think that's
the
what he
hoi
meant.
polloi.
Yeah.
You know,
But I think that's why they're undervalued. You got all these other Westerners who are looking at them through their nose, and hey, good on that. Or good on me if I'm willing to buy it while they don't think it's cool.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Right.
but that is kind of the plan. And what
So-
about you, Mike?
So hold on. Your plan, you really don't have a plan because you kind of really don't know exactly what you're going to have.
He's got a target.
But he's got a target. I'll give you
So, all right. See, that's the thing, right? That's the thing in the military. That is a plan because
It
your
is.
plan's going to fall to shit on first contact, and then you pretty much just kind of piece it together as you're falling. So, I feel like that's collecting as well.
His officer training courses are kicking in right now. He's got first contact.
Yeah, I'm literally all I need is an end state, and I will kill my way to there.
There, see, you're set. So as long as you don't stand between him and the Grand Seiko display, you're fine. You'll be good.
You'll be good.
Busting caps. Beep, 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 beep.
Mike, what's your plan?
So I already kind of touched on this, but my plan is to grow that Jetstar collection.
Nice.
That's pretty much the big picture plan. Yeah. Next.
I don't have a plan. No
I
plan.
mean,
Good.
I'm not looking for anything. I'm not searching for anything. I mean, I have a list.
Hmm.
And there's watches that are on the list. It's like, okay, keep an eye on this, but a lot of them are just I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to spend that kind of money on it. So,
Well-
I watch them and I watch them go or not go.
Are we talking lists?
No, we're not
Because,
talking
I mean,
lists,
I
but
have my want list is long.
it is. And that's a whole separate episode.
I don't think we have enough time for
We
lists.
don't. It's a whole separate episode, but it goes
Yeah.
to the point. It's like, everybody's got a list. You've got a want list. And if something comes up on it, and every once in a while, you get that adrenaline surge when listed for 99 cents. It's like, there is no way.
Okay,
So that moves us kind of into our little bit of our next step is like, what are the wants? And we talked about the list. Can you give off like what's your top two? If something were to pop up, if someone were to say, hey, I got this, do you want it?
Oh my god.
What are you potentially
So-
selling a kidney for?
Okay, so I'll give you a modern want and a vintage want. How's that?
Fair.
Okay, so a modern want, aside from the Doxa, because that's in my plans for this year.
It's also within your price range, to be honest.
I'm
Let's be
gonna
fair.
hold you. I'm gonna hold you
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. Well, as this one is too. I really and I love these things. The Zodiac Super Seawolf 53s.
Yeah.
Oh.
All of their limited edition colors, and they've brought a couple of those colorways back.
Okay, what color?
See, I don't know. My favorite is the creamsicle, the orange and white.
It's nice.
Probably followed up by the watermelon.
That was going to be my next guess.
And they have a dark blue and orange combo variation as
Yeah.
well, which was sold out, and that's one of the colorways that they brought back. So I don't know. I guess it's
Are you
whatever's
going with
available.
GMT?
No, not the GMT. I love the GMTs. I like the way those look, but just the straight Super Seawolf 53 dive watch,
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So, vintage want, I really want a deep sea chronograph. I really do. I'd love to have a surfboard.
Which one? Which
I'd
one?
love to have a surfboard, but I will settle for the deep sea, the blue dial,
Not the black dial, not the Coke bezel?
not the Coke bezel. No,
Really?
love the
kinda-
Devil Diver Coke bezels, but not on the chronograph. Oddly enough.
Actually, I agree with you. I love the way the blue one ghosts.
The
Yeah,
blue one
when
goes
that-
really well, but see, it depends
when
on
that
which one.
bezel fades. It fades beautifully.
There's options though, right? Because there's two of those. There's the standard one. There's another one that's got a darker blue bezel. So there's two options for that. The second one came out later. It's a later 70s version. You don't see them that often. Smaller subdials too. But
So, and I'm going to be picky, and I'm going to say the deep sea chronograph, and not the solo dial that you and KC have.
Well, that it's not the deep sea chronograph. At least not mine isn't, because there's no
Well,
666 on the back.
Yeah, so I don't want to settle and get a bull of a chronograph, but I really want the deep sea, the diver. The surfboards are way out of my price range.
Yeah, but
but but if somebody said, "Hey, I got one for X amount of dollars, do you
For a
want
kidney?
it?" Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right, KC, what do you got?
So I would say, all right. So I sent it to you guys in the group chat, and this is something that I don't think many people are even aware of. Let me actually pull it up myself. So it's a RGM Watch Co. American's premier watchmaker is what he claims. And from my understanding, it's a very small mom and pop kind of operation, but it's
Out of
all
Pennsylvania.
American. Okay, all right. So you guys are aware.
And he's completely U.S. made. I don't know about hairsprings, but he's very close.
I haven't heard of this one.
Oh,
Oh,
RGM is awesome.
If you sent it in the chat, I missed this.
So the one I really want, I sent it in the chat here, is the one that's Corps of Engineers. I mean, freaking A, man. An Army engineer, looking at this, it is a not one for one, but it's like an homage to those original watches that got issued to engineer soldiers in the First World War.
It's
Nothing
awesome.
gets me more fired up. However, the price point I think is like $10,000+ or something like that.
Oh yeah. It's
And he argues, hey, look, if you want American made and genuinely American made, that's what the cost is. And while I can't argue with it, I also can't afford it. All right, everyone seems a little jacked up right now, so I'm going to call last call right now. Let's go and get some off-topic discussions. Mike, you said that you may have jogged something earlier.
So yeah, it has nothing to do with the moon.
Trash.
So listen, as we talked in episode 1, we are trying to open up a space for collectors to find ways to enjoy the hobby more. So what I want to do is invite whoever is listening or watching us. If you are going to be hosting a watch meetup, or if you know of one that's going to be happening, if you have something that happens on a regular basis, let us know. We will try and get that word out. Our best medium is going to be Instagram, so we'll post something up there for you wherever you may be listening at. If we can help get the word out, just bring more people into the hobby, to bring people into meetups, because that's really where you get to experience a lot of different things, maybe outside of your wheelhouse of collecting, is at these meetups. So I'm all for trying to promote something like that. So if you have something, send us an email. We'll give you that email address in a little bit towards the end of the episode. Let us know when, where, any info about it. Any
shout out to the
info.
hashtag Chrono Group. Absolutely. To piggyback on what Mike was talking about, if you get the chance to go to a meetup, and I understand, we're in the time of COVID and everything is weird, and however you may feel about that, but having the chance to go and talk to other people that understand what a Bakelite bezel is and why that's important, priceless. Absolutely priceless. And there's probably going to be a cocktail involved. And maybe something's going to the moon. You never know, but it's absolutely worth your time, without question.
Oh man, see, that would be a great topic for another episode. Which watch would you take to the moon as a middle finger to the Speedmaster?
What would you take to the moon?
Well, we already know Joe's choice.
That's true. You do.
Yeah.
It's already been there.
Joe would take a watch to the moon that's already been to the moon. So it's kind of boring.
I would take it back to the moon. It's been on the moon twice now.
But this time he would wave it in everyone's freaking face.
Yeah. He already is, and he doesn't even own it.
I am. That's true. That's not yet. I don't own it yet. I haven't won the lottery. Buying a ticket tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Don't forget the little people when you win.
Yeah.
Casey, you got anything?
So my kind of off-topic conversation would be, I spent a part of my day today, which is why it was rather hectic, doing my concept of operations and my deliberate risk assessment worksheet for my upcoming drill, where I'll be leading PT as a new lieutenant, which I had done draws, which is deliberate risk assessment, blah, 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 blah. I've done that as a non-commissioned officer before. So like that was the plus side of not becoming some like straight off the street college kid becoming an officer. So like I had experienced this before, but this will be the first time I'll be in front of soldiers, and I will, whatever happens will be on my butt. And it's also my time to have an impact on them. Furthermore, if anyone is listening to this and thinks I should join the reserves because it'll be a cool side hustle and I'll be able to buy more watches, you're going to be so bamboozled, because you're going to end up working more hours than you're getting paid for. So just don't even go into it thinking that.
Said the guy who just bought a Pelagos.
Right, yeah, but I'm using Watchbox money, okay? And a credit card. I'm an adult, okay? but yeah, it'll be cool. So this is my first time to lead soldiers as a lieutenant. They're technically not even my soldiers, because my platoon is off on the border with Tennessee, so like 6 hours from where I am. And I won't be able to lead those soldiers until I'm qualified, after BOLC qualified, which is kind of shitty because I was a non-commissioned officer in the Army. But anyway, yeah, not qualified. But yeah, so I'm about to smoke these soldiers. Not really, though. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it'll be cool. So I'll be excited to tell you guys if I broke anyone, and if I broke anyone, I'm probably going to be getting sued.
So that takes us kind of into our end of show.
How
So
to
Mike,
contact me.
how can we get in touch? Share it with us,
So,
Mike.
My name is Mike. I'm 120 clicks on Instagram. Spell it all out. One big word. 120 clicks. Joe?
Watch Taylor Youth. Good luck. KC?
I am time_hack 1636. We'll keep this all linked up in the bio and whatnot.
And also, you can get through us through email. You can reach us for the podcast here at the springbarpodcast@gmail.com. Please, please, please hashtag us. Hashtag the Spring Bar Podcast.
Yes.
And that way we can deal. You got a watch shot, you got a drink shot, you got a watch and drink shot. But please, please drink before the watch so that there is no alcohol abuse. It's very important. If you got any meetups that you want us to help promote, please throw it to us. We will absolutely throw that out there to everybody, and we would like to promote that. So if you've got a regular one, please send us an email or tag us, send us a direct message, however you want to go about it. That way that we can help promote that for you and for your organization, because we really want to help support the Watch fam and get people connected.
And if you want to send a direct message, do that through the show Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast.
Nice.
Please.
So slight leak. I'm probably going to keep it in. But for episode 4, we're going to look at potentially interviewing someone from Instagram, which is kind of my dream for this whole concept, was to put voices behind the pictures that I can't read. So hopefully we'll have someone cool in, and it sounds like we'll have someone secured pretty soon. So please come by and check that out when we drop.
I mean, we're three pretty cool guys, and people tuned in because they were curious about us. So let's see who we can get.
Curious.
Pretty cool guys. But all right, speaking of pretty cool guys, you can't stay here. You don't have to go home. Figure out your lives. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
See ya.